You know, in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, the fate of the entire Roman Republic, it doesn't turn on some huge battle or famous speech. Nope. It all comes down to one single catastrophic mistake. And today, we're going to dig right into that one scene, the one where a tiny misunderstanding just completely spirals out of control.
So think about that for a second. Can one mistake really change the course of history? Well, let's find out, because we're about to see exactly how one moment of just getting it wrong, fueled by a whole lot of panic and, believe it or not, bad eyesight, absolutely seals the fate of an entire rebellion. All right, so to really get this, you have to picture the scene. We're on a chaotic battlefield. It's the Battle of Philippi. Brutus and Cassius, the guys who killed Caesar, they're literally fighting for their lives against Mark Antony and Octavius. The stakes, well, they couldn't be higher, and everything is already starting to go wrong. I mean, just look at the state of play here. It is absolute pandemonium. Cassius is watching his whole world just collapse around him. Brutus, his co-commander, he attacked way too early. So his soldiers, they think they've already won. They're just looting bodies instead of fighting. And Cassius's own men, they're running away. And if that wasn't bad enough, Mark Antony's troops are now burning his tents. It's just total chaos. So, in the middle of all this madness, Cassius spots some troops off in the distance, but he has no idea. Are they friends, here to save the day, or are they the enemy, coming to finish him off? Everything, and I mean everything, is riding on finding out the truth. And here's the kicker, a really crucial human detail. Cassius himself admits, "My sight was ever thick." He has terrible eyesight, so he literally can't trust what he's seeing. This means he has to rely completely on someone else's report, and that's what sets this whole tragedy in motion. Okay, so the plan he comes up with seems pretty straightforward, right? Step 1, his best friend, Titinius, rides out to see who those troops are. Step 2, his servant, Pindarus, climbs a hill to get a better view and watch Titinius. Step 3, Pindarus reports back what he sees. Simple. 3 steps. What could possibly go wrong? This is the moment it all goes sideways. The report that comes from that hill, it's based on what Pindarus thinks he sees and hears, and he gets it completely, tragically wrong. The infamous fog of war is about to claim its victim. So Pindarus is up on that hill, and he's basically giving a play-by-play, and you can just feel the panic rising in his voice. He sees Titinius swarmed by horsemen. He's yelling down to Cassius, "Titinius is enclosed round about. He's taken!" And then he hears something. Hark, they shout for joy. So to Pindarus, and more importantly to Cassius listening below, it sounds like an ambush, a capture. But here's the heartbreaking reality. This is where you see that tragic gap between what Pindarus thought he saw and what was actually happening. The pursuit, that was actually friendly soldiers from Brutus's camp riding to meet Titinius. They've taken him? No, they were joyfully lifting him off his horse in celebration. And those shouts of joy, they weren't from the enemy. They were the triumphant cheers of their own side celebrating a victory. Cassius hears this, and he just breaks. He doesn't second-guess it, doesn't ask for clarification. In the middle of all that chaos and despair, he just accepts this report as the absolute truth. And the fallout from that acceptance is immediate and it's permanent. And with that, Cassius just condemns himself. He's convinced he just sent his best friend to be captured, maybe even killed. The guilt is just crushing, and he sees only one path forward, a path based entirely on a lie. And this is where it gets really intense. He turns to Pindarus, the guy on the hill, who's actually his bondman. See, Cassius captured Pindarus in a war long ago, and Pindarus swore an oath to do whatever Cassius commanded. So, Cassius cashes in that chip. He tells Pindarus to take the very sword that killed Caesar and kill him. In return, Pindarus will be a free man. And his last words, wow, as he's dying, he says the name of the man he helped to murder. Caesar, thou art revenged. He sees his own death as justice. Like Caesar's ghost is finally settling the score. Okay, but here's where the tragedy just keeps on unraveling. Because the moment Cassius is dead, the truth shows up. And the irony is just, it's almost too much to take. Because here comes Titinius. He's not captured, he's not dead, he's totally fine. He's triumphant, actually. He's even carrying a victory wreath that Brutus's men gave him to put on Cassius's head. He's coming back with good news, ready to celebrate, and he finds his best friend lying dead on the ground. And this is the line that just sums up the whole awful mess. Titinius looks down at his friend and says it plain as day, "Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything." He just got it all wrong. A terrible mistake, born out of fear and maybe a trick of the light.
And now the tragedy just snowballs. Tinius sees Cassius, his friend, dead because of this stupid misunderstanding. And he's just destroyed by grief. For a Roman general like him, there's no honor in outliving your commander in a situation like this. So in one last heartbreaking act of loyalty, he picks up the exact same sword that killed Cassius and kills himself. He falls right there beside his friend. And just like that, two of the rebellion's main leaders are gone. Not killed by the enemy, but by a simple mistake. You'd think it couldn't get any worse, right? Well, that's when Brutus shows up. And it's really through his reaction that we get the big picture, the real meaning of this whole disaster. Just try to imagine what Brutus is seeing. He walks onto this hill and finds his two closest allies, Cassius and Titinius, dead. In that moment, he has to realize the momentum of the rebellion, maybe the whole cause, just died right there with them. And what Brutus says next. This is the whole theme of the play in a nutshell. He doesn't talk to his dead friends, he talks to the ghost of Caesar. He realizes that even though Caesar's body is gone, his spirit is still so powerful that it's winning the war for him. It's Caesar's ghost, he believes, that's sowing all this confusion and turning their own swords back on themselves. So let's just wrap this up. What started with something as simple as one man's bad eyesight ends with the deaths of two key leaders and a mortal blow to their rebellion. One little mistake, one error in perception, amplified by the chaos of war, and it literally changes the course of Roman history. And that really leaves us with one final, kind of chilling question to think about. I mean, this play is over 400 years old, but this whole situation, it feels so modern, doesn't it? It makes you wonder how often in our own lives are our biggest fights, our deepest regrets, born from just a simple misunderstanding, from seeing something from far away and just getting it completely wrong.